All right, welcome everybody back to Twilight Tactics. This is Tuesday night. As such, we're going to go over this week in Eternal Evolution. I broke up my my normal Wednesday video where I did this and then covered the patch notes to break it up in two because that video was getting really, really long and a lot of people just wanted to come for the patch notes and the rest of the stuff was kind of forgotten about. But I decided, this segment's gotten a little bit of a better reception. People tend to like the discussion with other content creators as such, as you see in the bottom left hand of your screen. We got Kigerr joining us now. Kigerr is also in the Eternal Evolution CC program, and we came from a previous game that we covered together. That game is now dead, officially, I do believe. May it rest in peace, and take all my money with it. So we are going to have a discussion tonight about the week that was in Eternal Evolution, and we're going to briefly touch on some upcoming stuff that's coming next week. So, Kigerr, why don't you introduce yourself, tell everybody where they can find you, and, I don't know, what drew you to Eternal Evolution?
What's going on, guys? Kigerr here. And as Dallar said, we came from Marvel Future Revolution. For some reason, no one can make a good Marvel game. I don't know. But that's where we're at right now. And I floated around to a couple different games. I went one way, Dallar went to this game. And I kind of got bored with the game I was on. It had very time-specific things. So like guild rate at 7. Then that leads right into Battlefield at 9. And then you just had like a 4-hour block of time you had to be on and actually actively playing during that time. As an adult, can't really do that all the time, right? Yeah, so sure. That's something that draws me to Eternal Evolution, because I do have, 2 or 3 hours during the day, but it's segmented throughout the day. I want to be able to come in, tap, maybe super focus for 20, 30 minutes at a time, and then go on with my day. And then come back maybe, after dinner or whatever, and go, and that's it. Eternal Evolution really hits that itch for me.
You're still covering other games, correct? Like, what else are you covering?
I'm covering this. I actually just stopped covering another game called Summer's War Chronicles because they added crypto to that. Oh. Not a big fan of that, but there are other things I'm looking at in the horizon.
All right, it's funny. I remember when you did a video asking your audience to tell you about games you should play, and you briefly touched on Eternal Evolution, and I think I maybe mentioned, or you said something about you didn't want to play it because Bailey was paywalled. Looking back now with Caraxia, that's just hilarious in a way. Mm-hmm. But oh well. Yeah, no, I also like this game for the fact that you can just kind of like, if you got 10 minutes, that's all you need is 10 minutes. You don't have to be on, like in MFR we had the guild raid, which was stupid. You had to be on for like 3 hours at a time, 2 times a day. It was just a pain. Dark Zone, you had to be on in that 1 hour chunk regardless of your schedule. One of the previous games I covered, Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, if you wanted to stream a piece of content, you had to be on for like 3 hours to do an attack phase. Territory Wars, I often sat at my computer for 8 hours because I was a coordinator. It was time restrictions in a mobile game, just doesn't make any sense, but most games have them. So this game, people forget how fortunate they have it with this game, and this is our reminder to you. All right.
I kind of get the idea because for certain things like some PvP content, it's cool to have like a 2 to 3 hour window just so it's not dead queues. If you have a specific chunk of time, then the queues should be more lively because everyone knows come in 7 to 9. But just as you get older, it's like that's, dinner time, that's family time, that's things like that. So it's tough.
Yeah, and the general demographic, I don't know if you look at your demographics, but my demographics for my channel tend to be North American 25 to 45 or 50-year-olds. That's the demographic, and that's all people that have lives and families and whatnot, which is why we play mobile games in the first place, because our wives and significant others would kill us. Like, I know I actually got divorced because of WoW, so Mobile games, a little bit easier. So
mine's a little bit further range, just because I put subtitles in my videos, so other regions can actually watch my stuff. But roughly the same age range, and I'll also tell you it's roughly from 6 to noon. 6 a.m. to noon is when people are checking it out. Like, they're sipping their coffee, they're listening, they're probably doing their tap 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 while they're listening.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All right, so the link for Kigerr's channel is going to be in the description of this video. I highly recommend all of you go over, click it, subscribe, and follow his stuff too. I'd say your specialty that I've never really cracked is you're far more analytical than me. Like, I noticed that right away in MFR, and I'd say that is transferring over to this game too. So if you want someone that's a little bit more analytical about the mechanics and whatnot, go give Kigerr's channel a try. Okay, so let's dive into one of the topics, or let's hit our first topic for today. So, Hell Arena, even though that is not just segmented to this last week, we did hit, what is it? What's the ranking? I know I'm not on it. People are looking on my screen, and
Elite
I'm at
or something.
I think so. I'm at an intermediate, but this is my streaming account. I don't often play it. We are at
Elite.
Elite. So the first thing on Monday when people logged in, they collected their rewards, they saw that it was asking for everyone to set a 4th team. And then when they went to fight, everyone had to rejuggle all their teams, whatnot. And then when they went to fight, lo and behold, they only had 3 teams to fight. So we know this. We kind of discussed this. Do you want to explain why that has to be this week?
Yeah, so there's no like deadline at the end, like you have to log in Sunday to set your defenses or whatever. So the reason why it's like that this week is in preparation for next week, because it even says in the little pop-up, the rank, I forget the name of it, but at that rank you have to have 4 defenses for 4 attacks. They don't want someone taking advantage of, if I'm on at 5 a.m. at reset and you don't have a 4th defense, I can go on and get a freebie off that attack on the 3 strongest guys in my little cluster. So they want to get rid of that. A good way around this, so something that people noticed, if this week you don't have a proper 4th team yet, what you can do is just have a 4th slough team of just whatever, because it's not being used. And then on Sunday, go and mix it up to where you actually want it to be, so you don't mess up your 3-team defense this week.
Yeah, that's what I did too. People can't see it on the account that we're looking at right now, because I don't really do a whole lot on this account versus just stream, but since I only got 3 teams, but on my main account, I made an assassin team, a tank team, a summoner team, and then I do have the hunter team made already, but it's down in the 4th. What, you don't like hunters?
No, the 3rd one on the list.
Oh, the summoners? What's wrong with summoners? Summoners are strong. My summoners are strong enough.
Everything eats it now.
But some people take energy against my summoners and it will eat them back. The addition of Dorley on that team didn't make it 100%. It did not. I got cocky at the finals in the Summon Arena. I took my summoners against energy, and that guy had a better energy
Jaina
team.
Just
Yeah, but I had been using it. If people want to go back and watch that footage, I was using summoners versus their energy up to the summit round, and it was winning because Dorley goes in there, or Drogon goes in there, stuns everyone, and that was enough time for me to nuke Nord down. I would basically just bum rush him, nuke him down, and kill him, and then the team, just eventually falls apart. But
yeah, we were kind of talking a little before that energy's not really a team, it's really Jaina the team.
Yes, it is. So if you want to run your energy team, you need either you need Miranda on that team, or a lot of people have to run Rez on that team to get Nord going really, really quick. Otherwise, like I said, you can just nuke him down. There's no real dedicated frontliner. They tried to use Vagueness, but
the tough thing is if you're putting Miranda there, you don't have Miranda for your tanks.
Exactly. Or your hunters, because Miranda is critical on a hunter team. She is.
We will get into it, but we needed Fiona.
We did. Absolutely needed it, because we were using Miranda everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. I would argue we need a dedicated support for summoners as well, get rid of res, put someone on that team that buffs all the summons, and that'll solve the Guild Hunt Turbine problem that they can't seem to solve themselves with just
You
the
slap
mechanics.
the SP on it, right?
Yeah, I think the SP's coming in 2 months anyways. But anyway, so that's Hell Arena, ladies and gentlemen. I'll show you what I'm buying. This account hasn't really bought a whole lot. I would recommend, and we'll see if Kigerr has the same recommendations. I went for I got 1 copy of Helentis on my main account, not this account, and then I got the trophies, and then I got the keys, and now that I've got them, anything I get going forward extra, I'll buy Astral tickets with. What are you buying with your Hell Arena tokens?
Same thing, but I skipped the keys.
Skip the keys? All right, fair enough. Well, I made a mistake on my main account, and I didn't understand how it was working at first because I'm a dumbass, and I used my keys to unlock the large spots. So I need the keys because now I got all these small trophies that I can't use. So
Yeah, there's only 2 large ones out right now.
yeah, exactly. But you could unlock all the large ones. I'm just going to my collection building in game if I and I'll show everyone. So like
I like collection a lot.
I do too.
Now another thing that you said, Hell Arena in our face Monday morning. Another thing that was in our face Monday morning was the Hell Arena pass.
Yes, I'll go back to the pass. I'm just briefly showing everyone on screen what I meant is in the collection is these 4 top large spots are locked. I, like a noob, unlocked those 4 spots before I unlocked the small ones, and we only got the 2 large trophies, so I got 2 unused spots. Let's go back to Hell Arena. We'll look at the pass. I'll get you to talk about your thoughts on the Hell Arena pass first. So go ahead.
So the Hell Arena pass, the paid track is just fine. It starts off really fast. So the first couple days you got a bunch of stuff. But then now it's like every day you're getting 1 or maybe 2 things as we go. I think they almost hit the mark. As far as the paid track's fine. I have no qualms there. But the free-to-play track really needs some more currency in there.
Yeah, I'm just scanning through it now, and it's just all stuff that, like, it's mostly leveling mats and low-level crystals, not a lot of currency.
I think free-to-play gets 2,000 currency, and that's it.
Yeah, that's not going to really do a whole lot when you get, what is it, 2,400 if you win all
That's
3 year
that's
battles.
a third of an Astral ticket.
Yeah, exactly. Now, did you buy it? Yeah, I did too. So I did it for the 30 Astrals, even though that's not the main thing. I wanted the copies of Sorvali, since I want to max out my Sorvali and my Miranda. Bought it.
I wasn't around for Sorvali, so I'm actually also getting the copy of Sorvali, but I also wanted the currency so I could get more Astrals.
Yeah. So now, historically, like they've put Sorvali and Miranda and Bada into a pack. So they are not likely coming back on any kind of banner or a wish list anytime soon, because like Skur and Hattie, who they added to the Battle Order pass, it's just as another place in game you can get more copies, even though I'd argue that Skur and Hattie are no longer really relevant in this game in any game mode. Would you agree?
The only way you can try to make Skur and Hattie do anything is making it attack speed and just try to do something with it. But really just its whole downside of if Skur or Hattie dies, they both die, messes everything up.
Yeah, it's not really a summoner in my opinion. It's more of just a dual purpose unit. Like if Doragon
Which is
died,
a cool design. I like the design, but it's not really a summoner.
Well, that was also at launch too. Like I don't know if you know this, but at launch, Kalaza was a hunter. So there and summoners.
That was a name. That was a name on the tip of my tongue because like in summoners we want summons because of Anpu, because of Sorvali, because of also in the Guild Hunt stuff, Kalaza. All of these guys do stuff based off of your summons.
Yeah, like at the beginning. In the beginning,
what
game,
does Skur and Hattie give you?
Just attack. She's basically just a team attack buffer, right? I'm just pulling up summons right now. So at launch, we didn't even have Senway. Senway was a Rise of Heroes, if I do believe, exclusive characters. So we only had Skewer and Hattie and Muka. You know, they quickly rectified that. They very, very quickly pumped out the summoners. Dan was out at Christmas, and then Ampu and Sorvali followed quickly behind, and then they reclassified Kalaza as a summoner, and then they released Senway. So they quickly ramped up the summoner team, because that, for a while at beginning game, was the only team you needed, because Rise of Heroes required summoners. We didn't have Gatosian Triangle.
Kalaza as a hunter makes sense in my mind, because his whole unique weapon is crit rate, crit damage.
Yep. Yeah, he was a summoner, or a hunter at launch, and that, you know, it was kind of cool because you could actually use prototypes with them, because for the longest time we didn't even have summoner prototypes. But Kalaza and Skewer are still used. I'm just pulling up the interface for the guild hunt. So if you do not have Sorvali and Ampu up to a level high enough, because if you try to run both of those, Ampu gets nuked. If you go on any guild hunt, I think it's 15 or higher, your Ampu won't survive unless he's like Mine's Immortal 5, Hyper Evolved 120. So if you're having trouble with him surviving, you can almost get the same damage, a little bit less, but almost, with still running Dorley, Dan, Kalaza, Maz, and Skewer and Hattie. You can still use those summoners. So Kalaza does still have a use, Skewer does still have a use, but very, very limited, and I think that their days are numbered. All right, I'm just trying to think. Is there anything else we haven't touched on Hell Arena? From what I hear, someone told me that the promotions don't matter, but I don't believe that's true, because obviously I'm looking at the interface right now and I'm seeing everybody that's promoted. I don't see any reason. Someone told me that you can still fight someone when you're promoted up that is in a lower tier. I haven't heard confirmation. I haven't seen confirmation. It's just a rumor that I've heard kicking around. Doesn't make sense to me that would be the case, though.
I don't believe so. The only thing that I'm uncertain about with Hell Arena is the first pictures they gave us looked like towards the top tiers. Only one, maybe two people get promoted. Every round we've been in so far, it's been the top half get promoted. So that could have been old thoughts that have changed, or once we get to the higher tiers, it changes. But I checked all the windows, all the question marks, all the everything, and no mention of that anywhere.
Could be. And I'm curious, once we start getting up to those the Hellfighter ranks, how many, because obviously it's not, you see the rewards, the top 8 get higher rewards than the bottom 8 in that division get static rewards. And I'm wondering how many basically servers or pools of Hellfighters there are in the game, because obviously there are multiple pools of elite, legendary, advanced, and stuff, all to fill out or to accommodate everyone in those divisions. It's going to be interesting to see how if people can easily place into Hell, and then how hard it's going to be to retain those spots. But I'm excited for that, because I like PvP, because of course I'm biased because I have all the toys.
I believe you had a thing from PIV that said it was alliance based, right? Like the alliance servers.
Yeah. So the pool of players that you can fight in is the same server cluster as your guild cluster. So I think that's from,
and I believe NA it's 1 to 12, 13 to like some godly number, 60s or 70s.
Yeah, everyone that's in a server that is below, I think, I do believe it was the 1 to 10. They're on an island by themselves. They can only play themselves. And then from 11 until, I think it's like 65 or 70, around there. I know 75
right range,
is past. If you're in 75 or higher, you are now out of the range. So there's an arbitrary cutoff around there. So that is the pool. So that is probably the biggest pool for NA to fight in. Although I did find something relatively interesting this week. So we'll go right into this topic then, which is Twilight Lands. So I'll move to Twilight Lands. So this server, this is my streaming server. I started this account on the same server as my main server. As you see, I'm pulling up the ranking ladder right now, and there's my main right at the top. Now, what I found really interesting is that on my free-to-play account, which was on server NA68. The top 10 filled up very quickly. But on my NA28 server, the top 10 didn't fill up until today. So older servers...
They're different?
Well, so older servers have less active participant pools because of everyone falling off. Now, eventually, hopefully this game is going to get to a point where I don't want to be playing against 5 people on my server. I will take all the rewards, but that's just no fun for me. They had better figure out a way to, I don't know, merge servers, or because a lot of games have merged servers. That shouldn't be a problem for them, right?
The only issue you'll get into is our Nord problem, right? You'll have some servers that had the chance to have Nord for free against other servers that did not. True. Or servers that any general hero, because I did not play at launch, so I don't know any other like events. I think this fuel event that we recently had was happened before, which was crazy good rewards. That fuel event was pretty amazing. It was pretty innocuous because you just go pam, 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 and you're done. But it gave crazy good rewards, and there was one for Bailey, way back when. So there was a free-to-play option to have Bailey when he was paid-walled.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's true. So what did you think about? Did you how far did you get in your Twilight Lands on your main account?
I was able to finish it.
Nice.
I almost finished it on the first day. I got it down to 4% after resetting like twice. And then I was like, oh, I could beat it with the rest of my team. No, I got it down to 2%. I thought that very similar to endless battles where we had the Vanguard boss, where you can't stand on the inside of it. Where there's nothing saying that you can't stand in the middle. Same thing with this whale. You can do your attack into that, but you get pushed out. But the whale has a buff on him where he takes almost no damage from outside the circle. And only assassins can stand in the circle.
Yeah, and Vanguard. But yeah, so what do you think about how... So, like, back in the day, it was just the top 15. It was pretty hard to clear top 15. I remember my sense of accomplishment when I got stage 15 done. Now, everyone waits until the Saturday upcoming, and I understand why. So people don't understand why they pushed it to Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern. That's so the majority of people on North America servers can participate, right? So no one's saying, oh, it's going to cover the majority of people. But it is a race. Like, it is an absolute psychotic race. Usually, like on my server, I do believe I beat the guy in second by, it wasn't by much, it was by 24 minutes. But still, if I had slept in an extra half an hour, because I was really hungover when I did this, I would have lost.
Gets back to what we talked about with mobile games before, right? We don't like super specific be on at this time thing, but this is once a month.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal. Once a month, it'll take 30 minutes maybe. You're done. But you kind of have to be on at that time. As far as what I really like about Twilight Lands, which I watch a lot of the other content creators, and something that no one really talks about is the if you are a free-to-play player or someone who is slowly catching up. Something I really like about Twilight Lands is once the top 10 or anybody clears a stage, you get that buff.
Yeah, that is
of
nice.
2% more damage, 2% less damage taken, and it stacks up to 10 times. So sure, you're not going to get that top 10 rewards, but you are going to get that red prototype that you may not have gotten without this 40% damage buff.
Yeah, just finishing 1610 is in itself a nice reward. You're just missing out on the top 10 rewards, but you know, you get that nice prototype at the end, and you get a whole gene hybrid and a whole SSS crystal from 16.1 to 16.10. And actually, I'm pulling it. I have it pulled up right now. The 10th spot on my Twilight Lands is still vacant, which is kind of funny.
So someone can come in, grab the damage bonus, get that 38% damage bonus, and go grab it.
But it looks like there are 9 players on my server left playing that are capable of completing 1610.
It's tough to say. I mean, it's at a very particular point because back to school just happened. Some people are still on holiday. So,
yeah, but
the next one is really going to be...
mobile gamers, though. They don't care. They'll let their kids scream out in the living room waiting for supper while they're playing something, so... I just think we've had that much people fall off on the earlier servers. The old whales, like anything below NA30 is considered the older at-launch whales, because I started very, very close to server launch, and it put me in NA28. That's how fast the servers filled up back then. But, oh well, is what it is. I'm sure they'll have to address it sometime in the future. Interestingly, I pulled up Google Trends today. I don't have that image, but it does seem like over the past month or so that we have plateaued. The trends is flat. It's not going down anymore. So I think, they are still advertising. I'm seeing them bring in new content creators. I'm seeing them do paid promotions on other Twitch streamers' channels. So they are still advertising. They're just not throwing a whole lot of money out. But I think the revenue they're bringing in is on the low end of the game. But the game, I think, is just... right now, at least, is steady. So for those naysayers that are harping that the game's dying, there's always going to be those people in mobile games, but oh well. They can be naysayers. Okay, what do you think of that?
So you showed a number earlier today, $600K dollars coming in for the previous month. I do look at these numbers for the other mobile games, at least top 50s. Through the same sensor tower, and the game that I just left grossed 1.2 million, and that is in its dying state. Wow. It's also a big IP. There's a lot of other games doing really, really well, but that's kind of as you said, marketing newer games. You have like Genshin, where they push their other games, which are also really high up. So I think something that could really help this game is it'll be kind of tough with the art style, but a collaboration would go a long way.
Well, hopefully the devs know what they're doing, because I don't want to really go find another game. I'm playing Watcher of Realms right now, and I don't know if it's really grabbed me. It takes too much time. I don't like mobile games like we were discussing earlier that have too much of a time requirement.
I downloaded it. I got to the first stage. I saw a tower defense, and I closed it.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was tower defense going in. The art's it's basically like a tower defense raid ripoff. It has fusions. It has all that same crap. It's just... I like Eternal Evolution because I can say, okay, I want to do 20 runs, max the slider out, go. Give me all the rewards for 20 runs. I don't want to sit there and watch my phone for 25 minutes while those 20 runs finish. So I'm still trying it out right now. I haven't ruled it out that I'm going to cover or not. It's just, it's not grabbing my attention. And if a game doesn't grab my attention right off the bat, it tends to go away really quickly.
Another thing that pushes me off of games like that is I do follow a wide array of content creators, and I want to say about 80% of the videos I see for that game are summon videos.
Yep.
And if that's the main thing that we're pushing, then I'm not really looking at it.
Wow, Darth Microtransaction made a career for a few years off of just doing summons in Raid. So people like that dopamine rush that other people do.
Like to watch it. People don't like spending to do it.
True. Okay, next topic. We're going to discuss the heroes that are leaving us here in 31 hours. Let's start with Rebecca, who was the Giant Tower reward. So this is your last chance to get, once a hero comes to Giant Tower, that's their own. They're usually their one time. I think Luke had 2 times in Giant Tower, and I think Leo had 2 times in Giant Tower. Character. Yeah, but those were also back. We didn't have a whole lot of characters. They were kind of just filling spots before the cadence really got set in stone. Now it seems like once they go into Giant Tower, that is your last chance to get basically another copy for 20 versus 60 each, or 120 chips each, which you should never do. Never do. And she'll eventually go to a spot somewhere else. But Rebecca, she was one hero who, when they first announced her, I didn't like her. I really didn't like her. I didn't see the appeal, but she is a critical piece on the Hunter team, so it would behoove you to get a copy if you missed her initial global release. What are your thoughts on Rebecca?
Rebecca is one of the 2 hunters that are plug and play, in my opinion. As far as the SSRs are, you have her and Rosaris. Rosaris mainly for PvE content with her fear effect and revival. But Rebecca is plug and play. Especially, she's even better now with Fiona out because of how her, I believe it's her EX20, that when she hits an opponent, if they have invincibility, and there was one other keyword, I forget which one, that she also gets it.
So her 20, she's her knockback is her 10.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no. Where's her 10? Yeah, there's her 30. Her 20 is Annihilation Beam if the target has invincibility or Guardian State, which is tanks. Basically, tanks, Leo, or Nord. Or now Assassins, right? Because Assassins all have invincibility.
She gets it.
She'll get it, too. Then Rebecca gains the same effect. Not that that's really going to keep her alive, because it's only going to be for 5 seconds or whatnot or whatever. But she's good. Like, she's a single-target, multi-hit hunter, so she pairs well with Emma in certain dungeons, and you need her on the PvP team just for the survivability for the shields, even though like Ryzeris and the AoE hunters are better in PvP, but she's okay. She's not OP by any means. She's just okay. She's the
just
first,
a solid unit.
Yeah, she's the first hero
that has she just has things caked in her kit that as units get released in the future, she can go up as more units get added to the game, just based off of what she brings to a team with her shields, as you said, as well as the anti-invincibility, as I pointed out.
Yeah, totally agree. I still don't like her art style. This was the hero they released after they asked us if they could start experimenting with different art styles, and the community resoundingly said no, not a chance. So
I mean, they also asked us about Chibi, and we haven't seen Chibi yet, so
yeah, thank
that's
God.
good.
We don't want that. I don't know whose idea that was. Whatever.
Looks like a Funko Pop ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Now, next hero, who is was kind of, so we're talking about Fiona. So I got the Fiona cinematic pulled up right now.
Oh boy.
Now, I kind of, we all knew, given the cadence, that a support was coming eventually. I thought it was going to be when they released Teresh, but it wasn't. The tank came out, and then she came out immediately after. It was just written in the cards. Usually they put, Miranda came out after the last summoner cycle, so I thought we were going to get Fiona after Dorley. Didn't happen. We got Teresh. But then she came a week later, and oh man. So she's like Miranda. She's very, very Miranda-ish. Miranda is built for energy and hunters, and Fiona is obviously built for assassins and vanguards. But she is turning out to be useful on almost every team, right? So what are your thoughts on Fiona?
She obviously, I was looking at her. I was going through her abilities. I'm like, okay, that's good. And I get to the last one that requires accuracy, and I just in my head say, fuck, I have to build accuracy on this guy. But the reward you get for said accuracy is, in my opinion, better than what you get from Miranda's, at least in her individual team. As well as she's also in this weird spot where I think most characters are ready to go at EX20, but Fiona really needs that 30, doesn't she?
She does. It just seems like they thought that one out, because the first invincibility pretty much lines up with your enemy's ultimates, and then the second one also lines up with their second round of ultimates, so she's giving your heroes basically a good 30 seconds of time to just to do whatever they want and run ram shot or whatever the word is over the enemy team. It doesn't seem like it would be necessary because it's just 5 seconds of an extra invulnerability, but the way it lines up in certain PvP against ultimates, and then like I have a video with them in Thundercliffs where you have to have that second invincibility, otherwise the assassin team can't live past the dragons CC and nuke. So,
and the only other way to get that second invincibility is to jack up her attack speed because of how the energy cycle works in the game. More attacks is more energy, but it's a support, so you're not going to want attack speed. So kind of forcing you down this EX30, which I mean, that's fine, especially at your level or your people on your server should have enough red runes to do at least a couple of the newer characters as they release.
Yeah, if you're getting first in every event in your server, you basically get enough red runes just through in-game events to X30 every new release. But that is 1%. Just put it on, anyone watch this, put it on your list. Just make sure you get her done someday. Just like Miranda, everyone had to eventually get Miranda X30. I would say that she is probably higher up on the priority list than Miranda. Given that, like, say, we've thoroughly tested her in Guild Hunt, and she is better than Miranda in every spider boss up to whatever it is, 16, I think, which is the highest spider. And that's an energy team. And Miranda is tailor-made for energy team, and Fiona's better on an energy team, which is weird. They really did break the game. Now, one thing I want to discuss also with Fiona is that what she does. I don't have a whole lot of testing with Vanguards. I'm sure we'll do that when we get this new Vanguard that's coming next week. We'll discuss that briefly at the end of this video. But what she does, pardon me, what she does for assassins is basically makes them all serial killers. Like they're right now assassins. If you have a near maxed team, like you have to have a very, very, very high team. But if you do, you can pretty much clear all the content in the game. Or not all, but a vast majority of content in the game. You can do every Cadence Triangle dungeon. You can do Crimson Abyss, which is a summoner. You can do PvP. They're awesome in PvP. Even without Caraxia, they're good in PvP with Fiona. It's just insane. A lot of people in my alliance are not too happy that it is turned back into a one-team game. People forget that summoners were the team at beginning game, or at the first 6 months of the game. And right now, assassins are the tip of the spear of the meta, and a lot of people were sleeping on assassins up until recently, so a lot of people don't really have that team built. But for people,
it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword, in my opinion. We had talked a little bit before recording that maybe they could have some sort of a bond in it, maybe jack up the difficulty, and then it gets easier if you hit that bond. That would make sense. But like I said, double-edged sword. That's one end of the sword. The other end is I do like, not specifically that assassins just do everything. I like that you're able to bring something in a summoner dungeon and beat it with something that isn't summoners.
Mm-hmm. And it's really funny that the community, everyone recently has been complaining that they've been releasing content in the game that has always required the new hero. And now that we have one team that can clear everything, because people were reminiscing about the summoner days where, we could just take our summoners in. All I have to do is build my summoner team and I could beat it. I just had to build a really, really good team. Well, now we got a really, really good team, and people are starting to complain that you only need one team. It's like people are just going to need a reason to complain, it seems. But
like I said, double edge. I like both sides in some capacity, but also dislike both in some capacity.
Mm-hmm. And one thing, like we were discussing, is one thing they could very easily do to change that is to, like Twilight Lands, like you were saying, the bonds. So every dungeon in the Cadence Triangle, they've built those dungeons to revolve around one team. They could restrict 3 slots on each team in those dungeons to the class of hero they want to fight in that. But I think that would just the negative blowback they would get from that isn't really worth it. And the people that have the assassin team built out to this high degree that they can do that. I think that's the minority, and I don't think that really matters to
even just as someone that could get whatever. I would like that because then you would have to build the teams, but I also dislike that because that means you can't do any funny shenanigans. Find some interesting thing, like we see in the tank teams, right? Throwing a unit to the back. People throw Nord, for example. Nord isn't a tank, but being able to throw him on the tank team, it's not the best or whatnot, but just it's an idea. I believe this strategy was used a lot in story mode, for example.
Yep, absolutely.
And just being able to do some quirky stuff and mix and mash as you see viable. Obviously, having a team that it's easy for it, an autoable team, I'm fine with. But allow me to use whatever I want. A great example is Terradome, where it is built for assassins and vanguards, but pretty much assassins. But early game, you do it with
Taylor. We're summoners.
Taylor and Sinway, who can summon the summon inside the circle. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for.
Yep. Taylor. Taylor. He was everybody's favorite character up until the last 3 months. But yeah, so it is also kind of arguably more free to play finally if someone can just build one team and beat all the content. All you needed for Twilight 16 this time was literally assassins and tanks. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Which those are two teams that you would use everywhere. PvP, all the PvE. I'm trying to think. I think you would need a third team for Galactic and some other PvP aspects. But those two teams, I think you can just walk through the game.
Right now, yes.
Not walk, but you can clear the game.
Yeah, you need to have them developed up to a certain point to be able to do that, to focus on just the two teams. But it is possible if you want to forego development of other teams. Like, a lot of people don't like Vanguards. They just don't like them. Well, you can skip them if you want. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you should have a
Barog's my boy.
I like Barog too. I don't get as much benefit as him as I see other people doing him. I have built him every single way. I have him IMO 5, Hyper 120. I have him completely maxed to the tits, and I don't know. He's just okay for me.
What I'm really waiting for is something that Barog has that no one else does, and I'm curious to see how it develops for the other groups, and that is the rage mechanic.
Yeah, it was just
because instead of getting energy based off of you attacking them, you get rage based off them attacking you.
Mm-hmm. And I was really hoping that this new Vanguard was going to be rage based too, but sadly it's not, which is unfortunate. I don't know why they're giving us one rage based character. I get that we needed that for the one endless battle that they created for Barog, that where energy was reduced or energy regeneration was reduced. But come on. Give us some more rage mechanics.
Even our Hell Arena right now is Barog style.
Exactly.
You also have... Imagine if Muka had rage.
Yeah, well, we need an SSS version of Muka with rage. Right. Leave Muka alone. He's okay. Okay, so that's pretty much Fiona. You got 31 hours or 30-ish. They're a little over 30 hours to get her. Please, please, please do yourself a favor, everybody, and at least get one copy. Everyone should have. I think that's the common strategy that everyone has got now. But people are still looking to skip heroes. I get that question asked a lot. Can I skip this one? No, you can't skip Fiona. Don't skip her. No, don't do it.
Last thing, not specifically about Fiona, but about summoning Cadence. And that is now that we have I think this is the one that we're going to have locked in stone, which is this whole Astral thing. Characters released. We do a week of the summoning. You summon 180, you get a copy of the character, and you get a couple Astrals. And then the second week, we get a giant tower. How do you approach this?
Yeah, that is the cadence. That is the only time that cadence will break is so I think that the new cadence with the first week being the Astral Reformation, Mirror of Reformation is what it's called. That is now set in stone. Now, Giant Tower has been on a 2-week cadence, The only time it has broken is holiday events. So like Easter, Valentine's Day, that's the only time where the giant tower is broken. Otherwise, it has always been the same. You guys can look it up on the spreadsheet link below. I have it in the banner thing. The giant tower is always on the off week, the first week after a new hero's release. And that's the set that's giving you a second chance to get an additional few copies of a hero that came out roughly 9 to 7 weeks prior. But I do believe that cadence is set in stone as well. This week, the next week, or this week coming up, they decided to rub my face in my predictions, and for some reason we're getting Dominic as the secondary banner. Have you heard that?
I haven't seen or asked. It's past Monday, so he should his lips should be loose on the subject.
Yeah, he did let loose last night right before they put it on Facebook, the new Vanguard, but he's been quiet. He's been really, really quiet this week. I'm thinking all of the leaks, they have finally decided to clamp down on it a little bit. Now, any question I asked him directly, actually, I think I probably spilled one or two, but I'm not under NDA, so screw them. I pay for that information. But yeah, he's been really, really tight-lipped. So from someone told me, I've heard from multiple sources that it is a Dominic coming that is completely out of left field. It has been 7 weeks since his giant tower, so he has come back once before, or once after his initial release. It's just odd that they're giving him again, and I'm assuming because...
Yeah, we recently had a Rickert one.
Yeah, we did have Rickert for the second time as well. I'm thinking because we're in the midst of this assassin cycle, they're just like, and since they couldn't give us Nord, because my predictions had us getting an energy hero as the the secondary banner this week, because we're going into after Vanguards, it's an energy new hero. So usually we would get out of the return of an energy hero. They're not going to give us Ravenna. They're not going to give us Luke. They gave us Jaina in the wish list out of nowhere a couple weeks ago. So they could have re-released Jaina. It was good. They could have given her back to us, and I don't think people would have really balked at that. But instead, they're giving us Dominic, and I'm thinking it's because of this assassin-heavy meta that we find ourselves in. They're giving people that are saying, "Hey, whoa, what are these all assassins killing everything?" Well, here you go. Here's the.
I mean, that's good, right? Everyone upset that they have to build assassins, throw assassins in their face.
Agreed. And I could be wrong. That's just what people are telling me, and usually my sources have been reliable in the past. They're saying Dominic is coming with Ares, so. We'll
PAV has been very, very clear that after Mondays, he's pretty fine with saying some stuff. Usually information like that, he's pretty fine with saying. So I'm sure if you ask him literally right now, he'll tell you.
The mods as well in the official Discord channel, they will also tell you around now what the supplementary or secondary banner is going to be as well. So if anyone wants to go into there and ask, I think I have that link in the description of this video as well. But we'll see. So I could use another copy, Dom. Mine's only MO2. I'll take more. Next topic. This is probably going to be one of the last times I really cover this. Right now, you can't see it, Kigerr, but I do have Caraxia, her summoning window open up. Now, the community kind of went and lost their collective minds when they dropped this new class of hero. Now, in your opinion, do you think some of the fallout is receding? I want your opinion before I give mine.
So I don't specifically watch the official Discord, but I do watch several other Discords, as well as I do read the Facebook comments. I'm very much, because I want to know what's going on in the community so I can make my stuff. So I like to have a pulse of what's happening. And so one thing, as you've said plenty of times, this is a very free-to-play friendly game. One thing that I believe you've also said, which I've heard a lot of other people say, is you've always been able to get a copy of a character. And I think the whole SP kind of rubs people the wrong way. And at least some stuff we've seen in the background, as well as it's kind of trickling out, is we saw this perfect example in Marvel Future Revolution. I can't remember the names of the individual things, but this happens in a ton of games where they release a new shiny. It is expensive and hard to get as the new shiny comes out. 2, maybe 3 months later, it gets not
Yeah.
super easy, but it gets a whole lot easier to get the new shiny.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So have you noticed the backlash kind of receding a little bit, or do you think it's still just going on as strong as it has
Yeah,
since day one?
I've had a couple on the Facebook channel. I've had a couple conversations with people on there, and uh, it come uh, we didn't talk about the Nord thing yet, but um, something that people aren't taking into account when they're looking at the price of this is, yes, it's like a roughly $300 copy of a character,
Mm-hmm.
but over the course of getting that $300 character, uh, you're getting several other triple S's that a lot of them are really good still. Panda's in there, Rickert's in there,
Leo's in
things
there.
like this.
Yep. Miranda. Is in there.
As well as there's some jeans in there. There's a bunch of good stuff. I really just want them to cut the blues, and then I'd be perfectly fine with it.
We also need more ways for free to play to get Astrals, because the way everyone can see it in the top right hand corner of my screen, this free to play account has 0. Because
Yeah, it's slowly happening, very very slowly. We have the every other week you can get, I think, 40 if you save your tickets properly from the summoning event, and then you can also get some from the Hell Arena shop, as well as the Battle Pass, which that, as we said earlier, if they throw some more on the free to play track, I think we'll be looking pretty good.
yeah,
Obviously, we need some more events, but it's starting to get in that direction.
unfortunately for free to play, so the Mirror of Reformation free to play most likely will not get those Astrals, just because if they truly want to maximize their limiteds, they're just getting to getting a pity copy of a new hero. Maybe if they save their tickets, they can go with a 59 160 every once in a while on a new release banner. And then, because I know it's my main free to play account, I try to maximize everything. So every once in a while, I'll have enough to do the 59 160, and every second giant tower, I might have 80 limited tickets saved up to do the 80 on there as well. Free to play will not have the limiteds in order to go for the Astrals from the Mirror of Reformation. If they do that, they're missing out on more important things, SSS copies. They're not going to get those Astrals. They're also not going to get the ones from the Battle Pass. Right now, the only way free-to-play are going to get Astrals is from the Hell Arena shop. And if we go look, you can get, 80?
Which we really need to see. Yeah, I was going to talk about that. We really need to see how the average player kind of shakes out.
Yeah.
This is going to take like 2 months to really maybe like 6 weeks to really have it shake out, see where the average player's at, see how many on average they will get. Obviously, their first purchase is going to be one Halentus just to get those additional weekly payouts. But it will be interesting to see how much the average player, how many tickets they can get from the Hell Arena shop a month.
Yeah, because right now, say if an average player, if they only buy the Astral tickets from the Hell Arena shop, it refreshes every month. A season is 2 months. So you can get 40 Astrals max a month. And if that's all they can get, if they can't get the Hell rank, it's going to take them 1.3 years to get a maxed out Halentus? Yeah, maxed out. So you need 2,500, roughly 2,500 Astrals to get a copy. That should be 1.3 years if you get all 40 every month. I know, that's got to be wrong. I must have screwed that up. So 2,500 divided by 40, so that's 62 months. Okay, there we go, divided by 12. 5.2 years.
I would preferably do it as 60, because we talked about the numbers just a little minute ago, but I would think at least one of the Reformations they can get a 20 on the, I think it's 80.
You're
summons.
right. You're correct. They'll concede that. But still, when we're talking at years to acquire,
Yeah, I got you.
They have to loosen the purse strings, and I think since we do know they have leaked it that we are going to be getting an SP hero every 3 months. They want to make this a quarter thing. The next one is likely to be released October 5th or 6th. if it is going by a 3 months cadence, and that is the beginning of the last fiscal quarter, which makes complete sense why they would do that.
That's also about the time, just based off of how other games kind of do this with new shiny kind of thing. That's also about the time where I would imagine kind of, if we're getting 60 a month just from those things, just assume the 60, I would expect us to start getting 20 to 30% more about that time.
Agree. I think that once we get the second one released, they're going to drastically loosen the purse strings and increase the acquisition methods in order for people to get these. I think they're just kind of giving the whales that are the Krakens that are going to spend regardless, and the free-to-play aren't going to beat them regardless. They're always going to have everything maxed. They're giving them a little bit of a heads up of, here, you can take toy and you can dominate everything in the game for 3 months. And I don't think the whales would be opposed to them after the first one is released, drastically increasing the acquisition method, because they're already ahead. They'll be working on their second one at that point. So everyone that is still miffed about Caraxia, it's like Kigerr said, common tactic. Just hold on. Don't worry, it's going to get better. Anything to add before we move on to the next contentious topic?
No, I think the very last part is it's 60 and you're guaranteed a triple S during that time, and at 30 it's a hidden chance. But it also works like the not tower, but what was it, where you pick 3?
Wishlist.
Similar to Wishlist, if you hit it before either of those times, it resets to 0. So you're getting a good amount of triple S's.
Yeah, and you will. It's just that, for, like we said, for free to play, those tickets are going to come in slow, but just keep at it. It's only one team. You only need to win 2 in any 3 arena setting. So the Assassins can only beat one team. So just build the other ones. Okay, next topic. Again, I think it is still in game for 31 more hours as well. I'm looking at the custom packs. So I briefly touched on it before. I had theorized that Nord was going to be coming this next week because it has been 6 months since his initial release in-game. And with Bailey, they brought back his first banner 6 months after launch, which was when roughly, he was released in-game. Alas, we did get Nord. It's just not the way that we were all hoping. And I think that this is likely going to be the acquisition method going forward. What do you think about the custom packs coming back again?
So, as far as a value statement, I believe the $200 pack, either if you're going for Nord or a different unit, it is about 90-something% of what you would expect if you got 2 $100 packs. So it's slightly less, but a little bit more choice in it, with obviously Nord as an option. We'll obviously talk about how we think Nord kind of goes in the current landscape of the game, but I think a lot of people are focusing on the $200 pack, and I believe the 31 is actually insane.
Yeah, I got it pulled up right now. If I was going to buy this, it'd probably be red runes, 30 red runes, then probably, depending on what you need, either the gene hybrids or the limiteds, probably gene hybrids since everybody wants gene hybrids. And then the last one, I'd say arguably with Immortal Gear, probably Katoshi and Triangle tickets. So you get 10 tickets, which is roughly 3
or 4,
mats.
of the things.
Yeah, a third of a gene hybrid and then 30 red runes. So that's not too bad, I guess. You're right. If you were going to spend, that would be what you would spend it on. Alas, I have maxed out my budget for the month with frickin' Caraxia shards, so I will not be buying any of these packs. But not a whole lot of animosity that I've picked up from the community on this pack. Nord, like you were briefly alluding to, Nord has kind of lost his luster. He's still good. I don't want to take that away. He's still great hero, amazing mechanics. I think that they didn't know how good he was going to be when they released him. They were recommending Sun Signet, and I don't think they tested him with Marauder, which is what makes him OP with the lifesteal. But then they kind of had to be like, oh crap, people are blowing through all our content, and then they paywalled him. Is that right? No, I don't agree. I think that's really slimy. I think they should have nerfed him, if anything, and then still released him with the normal cadence. But alas, they didn't, and this is how we're going to get him going forward. But what started this whole rant was the energy team isn't what it used to be. I wouldn't recommend going for Nord anymore. I think he's going to get power crept, and he's not worth the price tag. What do you think?
No, not really at all. The main place I see him even really touched is mainly on an energy bond kind of thing, which you can blow through with summoners. Summoners can auto an energy bond, no issues. But the main place I see him still having use is pushing story. And we did just get an expansion on story. I don't know what people are using on 70 plus. But I can tell you, this morning I was thinking about it, and I put in my Assassins team, and I went through 54, 55 on auto.
Yeah, it's Assassins. The person in my alliance that sat there day and night and cleared all the way through 80-40 did it with Assassins, with Fiona, because Fiona's that good. So, again, like we discussed earlier, don't worry about Nord. Worry about Dom and Rickert and Fiona. And you'll do just fine.
Yeah, that's like his main thing, right? That's what people are looking at him for is Nord plus res on manual.
Yeah.
Nord, res, Nord, and with the flowing rune, and you should be able to progress in story as kind of like a cheat code. Well, now you can put it on auto and go make your sandwich.
Yep. Also, Nord's alts line up with Fiona's invincibility states, so Assassins just run through the energy team. So this might be the last time we see this deal. They might realize that themselves and release them.
I'm assuming that Ares is our next topic, right?
It is. Well, we're going to talk about endless battles and then Ares.
All right. I will allude that Nord may have a revival depending on what happens with Ares.
Very much. Okay, so whatever, don't buy them. That's gonna be my final word on the custom pack.
I agree.
Buy it. Not worth it. Go for the red runes on the $30 pack, like Kigerr said. Okay, so that's pretty much the week that was. That's everything in the game. It was a busy week. Even though this last week, or this I should say, it was a busy cycle. I like to discuss this game in 2-week cycles, because that's when we get our big content pushes and our big content drops. And now we're moving into what's coming up next week. So the first, we're going to briefly talk about what's coming up because we're getting the patch notes tonight, and I'll make a video tomorrow on the patch notes. But first, we're getting Endless Battles is returning. Twilight Lands is ending. Kigerr, what are your predictions on what the 3 battles are going to be this next 2 weeks?
I got wrong last time because I swore up and down there was no way there would be a third Idar one in a row. Just impossible, and then bam, Idar. That hurt. But I guess, as you said, Assassin Cycle. So if the idea is that we're getting a Dom on the thing, maybe it's a 4th Idar in a row.
I've said that as well. I think it is going to be, sadly. But you know what they should do? They should change it to the whale boss that we got from Twilight.
I liked that boss a lot.
I did too. Yeah. What about the other 2?
So the other 2, it would be.
Well, we're getting Vanguard.
We had Spider on the first one.
Yep.
So maybe another Spider. Spider was a good one. There's a couple groups that we haven't had a boss for yet, right?
I think just summoners, correct? I think it is just summoners. We've had tank, we've had assassin, we've had hunters, we've had energy.
It's just in the numbers in the back of my mind. I have support as a class, but obviously it's not that. But yeah, it'd be summoner. Maybe it'd be something like the Mirage space one, right?
Well, they have the battle already. So the battle was last month's Twilight Lands. 1610 was the summoner boss. That will most likely be the battle that we would get if they're going to put it in game. Plus, they'll just tweak it a little bit because Some of the battles we've gone in endless, they've carried over into Twilight. So like the Vanguard, the very first endless battle Vanguard fight turned into the 16-7 Twilight Vanguard fight. So, and then whatever, I can't remember what the other one was. There was another one that carried over. It was the energy one. The energy boss was the 16-10 Twilight energy boss the prior month. So
if I have to make a guess, I'd say Idar, Spider, and Summoner.
Idar, Spider, and Summer. Okay, there's two spiders. There's the Spider Queen and the Spider King. Spider King is the Vanguard. Spider Queen is the energy. Okay. Well, we know we're probably going to get a Vanguard because they're releasing a brand new Vanguard hero. They're trying to sell him. So we're going to get the Vanguard. And then, in my opinion, this is just my prediction, we're probably going to get the Vanguard to go along with the brand new cool Vanguard hero.
I just can't put it in my head because I'm really against doubling up on events. Like last time it was this one, next time's the same one. I just don't like it.
Yeah, people aren't going to like too because we did have Assassins and Vanguard last month. It doesn't make sense. It really shouldn't. They had their opportunity last week to switch up the cadence if they wanted to do that this month, but I guess we'll see. That's just my predictions: Assassins, Summoners, and Vanguard. But
you're also on Summoners, okay?
Yes, I think that we have to because it's the fourth iteration of the new endless battle format. Give us something to use our summoners on. When we got to Rally, that should have been when we got the summoner boss, because that is when we got the summoner boss in Twilight 1610. Come on, just let us have it. Let us have let us have summoners. So stay tuned, everyone. Get ready for that. I know Kigerr will probably have his endless battle videos out. I'll have my endless battle videos out as well.
I'm going to call it. Dominic is going to be the most important thing on the summoner boss.
Yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying. You know, he's used everywhere, that guy, on every team. It is freaking unreal. Last topic. I didn't plan ahead. I don't have a screenshot of the new hero that's coming out this Thursday. The sneak peek got dropped last night on their official Facebook page. It is a Vanguard, like I thought. It was very, very predictable. But it looks like Nord. And I watched Kigerr's video on him. He was calling him Nord 2.0. He is very, very Nord-esque in his appearance and in some of his abilities.
He looks like if Nord and Masrani had a baby.
I've heard Nord and Masrani.
Because his glove looks very similar to Masrani's glove.
Yeah, I've heard Nord and Nautilus. You know, he's like Artis's big brother.
If you would like me to, I can say the characteristics and overview if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Characteristics: movement enhancer, high damage reduction. Hero overview: charge, forced movement, assault DPS, huge damage synergy with movement heroes.
So you said damage reduction in there, so I'm thinking he's going to offer a bunch of damage reduction to Vanguard. So if you're running DR boots, you can probably move to HP or attack or whatever you want. He sounds like he's going to be the frontliner, even though Leo likes to be the frontliner himself. He's going to end up in the back of the map anyway. I have high hopes. I think he's going to be good. He
also adds a whole new mechanic.
Oh, the grapple?
Yeah.
Well, Barag has
doing a button click during the ability.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting when everyone and their dog plays this game on auto. So,
is it going to auto grab the target?
I would assume so, because Barag does have he does kind of have a grapple in a way. He will lash out and grab a hero, and it's always the one you don't want him to grab, and he'll rip him to the back line. Sometimes that works against him, though, if he pulls an Ampu and then Ampu freaking goes off.
My guess is the damage reduction is going to be during his ultimate, very similar to how Nord is invincible during his ultimate.
I would hope so, because Leo has invincibility. Barag has, you could almost say he has invincibility. He has so much lifesteal. Vanguards have fallen off a lot. They were the meta. I remember when Vanguards were the meta before Ampus or Valley, which killed it.
It sounds like he's supposed to be the damage on the team with it saying assault DPS.
Well, we need high damage because right now with Crete offers nothing. Crete was a holdover from launch when they thought that they could use defense as a stat scaling mechanism. Defense doesn't work.
I like the idea there. It just doesn't work out, especially with how talents. I think they need to overhaul the talent system and kind of. I like how it's left side is class based and right side is the individual unit based, but the individual things. Tell me why summoners have crit rate on their talent board.
Yeah, they've definitely screwed up. I think that they've gotten better recently, but there's definitely a lot of heroes that like do not need. Like I'm looking at right now, I got Guan Yu pulled up, who is a Vanguard that no one has. Even though I think he's really, really cool, he's also a defense.
Except for Golden Week. Golden Week was fire.
Yeah, exactly. That's where most of us got a bunch of copies of him. But he's a defense-based Vanguard. With Marauder gear is what you pretty much have to put him in, since he is also crit-based. He's a defense-based Vanguard that wants really, really high crit rate. As such, he's good for Marauder, since they also gave him a displacement. They actually labeled one of his abilities a displacement. They have buffed him. It's just that he still sucks. But he's an example of a character that is even more garbage than Crete, who is also a defense-based Vanguard. So I think I would love nothing less than to run a full Vanguard team. Crete, Guan Yu, new guy Ares, Barag, Leo, but there's really no benefit to that when we obviously want. If Vanguards are your jam, if that's what you want to run, you're running Fiona on that team, right?
Which, as I said in my video, as well as we talked a little bit beforehand, we need to see the ability, the very last part of his overview, huge damage synergy with movement heroes. So as we know, that's going to be assassins and vanguards.
Yep.
But that's a damage boost on them. If it's a percentage boost, same with Fiona, how the multipliers work. We'll have to see how that happens. But we could have some funky numbers on Dominic and Rickard.
Yeah, it's just that if you I'm thinking PvP, you wanna run 3 Vanguard to get the PvP sin or buffs. Now you're obviously gonna want to run Barag, Leo, and Ares, and then you would want to run Fiona. And if you were gonna pick an assassin, you would probably run Dom, since Dom has Vanguard synergy actually written into his kit. The problem is that Dominic's main mechanic requires crit damage, and Vanguards aren't
actually
heroes.
So an idea just springing on top of my head is an assassin team. What you could do is, if you want to make a 4th team for Hell Arena, is you can have and obviously you would need to have Caraxia and Helentis for this. You would have Caraxia with the assassins, and you would have Helentis, depending on how this damage synergy with movement heroes works on this team, because every ability on Helentis is a movement ability.
Yeah, you could definitely do that, or you could just plug and play Ares directly into an assassin team as well.
We need to see some numbers, but just off of those individual words, it sounds promising.
Yeah, the problem is too is that now we're into that situation where we need 2.
Now we want to put 7 units on the assassin team.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we have Miranda was cool. We want her everywhere. Now we got Fiona. Now everyone wants to put Fiona everywhere. We need another support,
Thresh,
which we aren't going to get for another. Oh, we're not
going to
throw
Thresh on most teams.
Yeah, for 6 to 7 months until we get our next support, ladies and gentlemen. So you're stuck with what you got. Oh, Masrani, you have finally fallen. You were so good. I feel sorry for everyone that X30'd their Serena, which people were recommending back in the day. Never me. I never ever recommended ever X30.
I mean, it is unlimited range. That's like the upside.
Yes, but she's just. Are you gonna? Yeah. Some people do like to run Serena over Masrani because she's got the, like you said, she's the unlimited AOE healing range. Plus, she's got the AOE defense up, which a lot of people still like her on tank teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only time I've seen her is when they're doing triple tank, double support.
Yeah.
But that was also before Teresh.
but I've used her. So really now you could run, if you were going to run a 4-man or a 4-team setup. So let's just think we could run. Well, we got to pick Vanguard or Assassins. So if we're running Assassins, we're going to run Fiona with Assassins. You're going to run Miranda with Hunters or Energy. Really, do we really need Rez on a Summoner team anymore with Durali? Because really, you ran Rez on Summoners.
He is her own Rez. And here's the thing with Summoners. You can't Rez Daniel, because if Daniel does his ultimate, the first one dies. You would have to use it on Ampu, but Ampu needs things to die, and nothing dies that quickly between the first and second ultimate.
Well, and Fiona,
it's a weird situation.
Fiona, like Miranda, will not overheal and supply a shield to summoned creatures. Masrani is the only Triple S hero that's doing that. So I think Masrani is going to be, if you could probably pull Rez off and put Masrani on a Summoner team now. Durali's going to get out there, get the initial stun. Durali's stun is going to provide you with the head start to get Ampu rolling, and he's going to keep the people away from you so that no one can bum rush Ampu. So you could put Masrani on a Summoner team. Again, like I said, the only healer that's going to provide shields to summoned creatures, and also buff up Ampu and Dan's attack. So I think we got enough now. But yeah, it's always good to have options, even though Assassins are used everywhere. And that's it, Kigerr. That's an hour and 15 minutes in. We rambled on for a while.
Just as you said, very analytic guy myself. So when I read little things, even if it's the small text like this for Ares, I'm going to be trying to figure out things. I just hope a lot of this isn't tied to like his EX30. Like the damage boost. I really hope that's not hidden behind EX30. But if we can put him online at EX20, I think we're going to have fun with him.
Yeah, I agree. I hope he's good because, like I said, Vanguards have been in the dumps for a while. Although Leo and Barag have kind of become plug-and-play heroes by themselves based on their survivability. But yeah, all right. Again, for those of you watching and you made it to the end, I don't know if I'm going to give you a safe word of the day. Let's just say Vanguards, because Vanguards is what's coming. The link to Kiger's channel is going to be in the description below. Please, like I said, go give that link a click and give him a subscribe, because he's making content for the game and he's putting out good stuff as well. Kigerr, any final thoughts for the week that was or the week that will be in Eternal Evolution?
Yeah. The one thing I would like to say that I was trying to find a good spot to put it in is I am a big fan of this 2-week cadence where it's a event comes out, lasts for 2 weeks, and then another event comes out, lasts for 2 weeks. But like I'm a fan of it lasting 14 days so you can do it when you feel like it. I just wish that there was we already have a third if they want to bring it back, heroes, whatever. If they had a fourth, it would be really nice to just always have 2 going. One starts every week and they all last 2 weeks. Just always have several things to do. In a mobile game, the game feels more alive when there's more options to do, even if it's only 2 to 3 minutes. The more things you can do really adds up, especially the reward structure, right? All of these reward red runes, things like that, it would just inject a lot of things into the economy.
I agree. To add on to that, there was moments in time, I don't know if people can still do this, but newer accounts, with the way the weeks lined up, there were instances where week 3 and week 4 accounts, I think it was week 3, had 3 banners. There's nothing saying they can't just give us another banner to choose from, to give people more options. I think that they're going to give us more wish list banners to kind of fulfill that role. But, eventually, there's going to be a lot of heroes if they keep up this 2-week cadence, and they should give people more chances to get them, even though I think they are doing that with the addition of the SSS in the Endless Battle store, the addition of all the SSSs in the Battle Passes and stuff. Just, like I said, more is always better.
It's just we have the current, what we talked about, Twilight Lands, which, at least for a lot of the older players or spenders, it ends up being... you play it for a half hour on the first day, and then you play it for 20 minutes in 10 days. There should never be a week of time that there's nothing to do.
I 100% agree. There used to be a criticism back in the day when Summon Arena opened and Twilight Lands and something else. I can't remember what. But now, like you just said, it takes us literally total to do the whole thing an hour to do Twilight Lands. And you know what? They could just tack on, if they're like, hey, you guys, it takes you completing it so fast. Well, here you go. We're going to give you 16 and 17. And then eventually 18 on top of it.
I just don't think anyone will be upset if first week we just had Twilight Lands. Second week, Heroes, whatever the other event was called.
Rise of Heroes.
Rise of Heroes. Third week is... what we're about to have, Endless Battles, and fourth week is a new event, and each of them still lasts the 2 weeks. You have plenty of time to get them done at your leisure, but no matter what, in the next 5 days, there's always going to be something to do.
Yeah, I agree, because like right now, what is the event that's currently running? It's Galactic Bounty, which is a 10-day event. It's not a 2-week event, but it's not really an event. It's
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days.
Yeah, there's 6
to
days,
complete it.
There's 6 days left, so it's not quite a 2-week event, which is odd. Just make it 2 weeks. And then I think what is Elite Chapter is also...
Yeah, that's a fine
10.
one. Even if they throw Elite Chapter as the fourth one, I'd be fine with that, right?
But make it harder. It's way too easy. Make it a little bit harder. It is way too easy.
There's also... You also end up with 10 or 15 extra attempts that you literally can't use.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, I agree.
Add an extra chapter.
Yep, you can do that. And, let's not forget. I try to say it as often as I can. Ancient Altar. Give us 3 more levels. We got
give us some levels and put some astrals in it.
That is the most easiest place to put limiteds and astrals, which everyone needs. Just even give 50 a week. That's 10 shards of Halentis on average. I think that's even generous. Yeah, two per 10 pull. Cracks, yeah. Right. 10 shards a week? So it takes you a month. You can't even get a copy. No brainer. The community will applaud you. Everyone will love you. If you want to get goodwill, that's where you do it. But they're not going to do it right now because they're still going.
Yeah, we're just in a really weird spot with that game mode where the proper way to play it is to go in with a weak team on the hardest difficulty so you can get 2 shots at it.
Yeah, I've given up. I just one shot everything because I'm actually going for. I'll even go for the advance. Plus, I don't want to have to worry about.
You're losing out on 1, maybe 2 limiteds doing that, but if that matters to you, then.
Yeah. All right,
we've been talking way too much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell us your thoughts, your comments, your concerns. If you've made it this far, thank you. I know a lot of people do like this kind of long form discussion. I think every game needs a podcast type weekly thing like this, a round table, just because you touch on so much stuff that just gets glossed over by the typical and I'm not saying that we do clickbaity, crappy, low content videos, but
I go out of my way not to.
I do too. I do.
The closest I did was today with the guy that looks like Nord saying Nord 2.0.
Yeah, but this is good stuff. So, Kigerr, thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Just how our minds work, we just can bounce off of each other all night.
Exactly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for watching. Go click on Kigerr's link, give him a subscribe, and thank you for coming. Remember that the safe word of the day is Vanguard. Put it down in the comments below. I'll know you made it till the end of this video, and I will thank you profusely, and I will send you a pint of blood. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, cheers, peace, bye-bye.